Hey, Joe Latender here. In this video, I want to talk to you about becoming an installer. Okay, I get questions all the time by guys and women. How do I be an installer? What do I charge? Where can I find work? So I'm going to go through those few basic things in this video, and then we'll do other videos on this to really help you through some things. Okay, so I'm going to touch on a few of these briefly, and then you can put comments down below. I'll get to those comments and then we'll kind of judge by there on what we need to work on for the next video. So be sure to ask questions anyway. So you want to become an installer. You've installed some vinyl plank. You kind of like this. People are asking you, your neighbor's asking you if you'll come and help them, or family members are asking you, hey, will you come and do mine next? Because you've shown them that you're good at this. You kind of have the desire to want to go and do this, okay? Right? So maybe that's you. Okay, so what do? Maybe you're an installer right now and you're just not sure are you getting taken? How much are you making? Where should I be making more? Where do I find more work? Just things like that. So we're going to talk about that. Now, I personally like to work for a shop, a store. Someone who owns a store that I go in, I get work from them. I go in the morning, I get my paperwork, I go to the job, I do that job. When I'm done, I turn in a bill and I get paid. They take care of the sales, dealing with the customer and the measuring part, all of that kind of stuff before I even get to the job. They're the ones who collect the money at the end. So I don't have to worry about any of that. All I need to do is just get my butt to the shop on time, get to the job, deal with the customer, do the job to the best of my ability so I don't have any complaints, and move on to the next one. That is how I've always liked to do it. I've done it other ways, and we'll talk about those other ways in a little bit, but I want to talk about the store first. So how do you get into a store? What do you need to do? What store should you go to? Well, I'll be honest with you. The beautiful thing about being an installer, a subcontractor, or even just doing this for somebody by the hour, which I'm not saying you should do. I wouldn't do that. But you can go anywhere in the world and do this, because this vinyl plank is installed everywhere. It's the same as laminate. Laminate is also a big product, very similar to vinyl plank. You can install that too. And you can go anywhere, no matter how big or small the town or city is. Now, I personally like small towns. I think that the small town shop is an awesome place to work. Okay, I think it's more personable. You get to know the people more. You build yourself up with them. You have a little bit more leniency on things. They're there for you. They're not going to throw you under the bus. Where some of these shops that I've worked for, you go into the shop, you don't know anybody really. You hardly even deal with anybody now except for through text or email. You go up to a window, they give you your paperwork. You're just a number to them to go and do another job. I don't like working for those big outfits like that. I don't, because I don't want to be a number. I don't want to be the guy that they don't care if they throw under the bus, right? Because there's shops like that, especially the bigger ones. They got all these rules and checklists that you got to go through. You can't do this, you can't do that. You got to go through 50 hours of training. They pay you like maybe once a month. Now, I just don't like places that hold your money. If you're going to a store and they tell you that you have to work 2 weeks before you get paid 1 week, I kind of stay away from those kind of places, because I don't want them holding my money for that long. I've even had a shop where they said, okay, we hold back 2 weeks, but you have to work 4 weeks before you can get that first 2 weeks. So now they have 4 weeks of your money that they're holding on to. They have you held hostage there, okay? I don't like places that mess with your money. I like working for stores, and there's lots of them out there that are this way. You do the job, you turn in your bills at the end of the week, you get paid. Okay? Now, I would work for a store that the work I did this week, they paid me for next week. That's fine, but no longer than that. And if they start messing with your money, then that's just a place you don't want to work, right? I'd move on. There's plenty more stores. So I've always hated working for the big places like that because of those reasons. Now, some of you are just getting started out, and do you really want to go start at a store right now? No, I would tell you, okay, if you're first starting out, you're not really doing this, you're just looking to get your toe dipped in, do a DBA, doing business as, okay? And then you don't have to go through all the hoopla of spending all these huge amounts of money to get your business registered and things like that. You can just do the DBA, see if you like it, if it's something you want to do. And maybe after a couple months, then now you go and you take care of that other stuff where you get the insurances and all of those kinds of things, okay? I would highly recommend you go that route first, just to see, okay? Then you would want to go get an LLC, okay? You'd want to get your general liability insurance and whatever else the state is going to require of you. Now, here in Minnesota, the state requires you to register with them, not just with the IRS under your name. And you need to also have workers' comp here, whether you have an employee or not. They want you to hold this liability policy just in case you get boneheaded one day and you go hire somebody who's not a subcontractor. They work for you, right? They get hurt on the job. What are they going to do? Well, the state of Minnesota has this comp policy in place just in case something like that would happen, to protect that person who would come and work for you. So it's a mandatory thing at a lot of stores that you go and work for. They won't even let you collect a check until you have those insurances, okay? So you need to be sure that you check into those kinds of things if you're going to go work for a store. Some of them really get ridiculous on things. They want you to go and triple your car insurance, this insurance, that insurance. I would just not work for them. Go find somebody else to work for. There's so many small stores out there that don't do all of that mumbo jumbo. Okay, plus it's nice to go into a store where you get to know the people who own it, okay? They know your name. You build your brand with them. They talk great about you to their customers. They sell you to their customers. You want to build loyalty with that shop and so that they want you, right? They want you and only you. They're going to give you work all year around because you're a good guy. Good installer, show up on time, deal with customers well, have a nice work truck, keep your work truck clean, right? You don't call and complain about every little thing that goes on the job. Those are the things that are going to make you valuable, not just to a shop, but to a customer who you're going to go deal with if you do this on your own. So if you're on your own and you are getting work from other people, just feel it out, like I said, for a while. Now, what do you charge? Okay. Now, most shops that you're going to go to are already going to have a price list that they have set, and you just need to agree to that price list. So meaning, if they decide that you only make $1 a square foot on vinyl plank, you have to say, yes, that's what I agree to, and you're going to make $1 a square foot on vinyl plank. Now, I will tell you, when you're in the bigger cities or down south, the wages are usually a little lower. I like to venture out. Now, I live in northern Minnesota. For many years, I worked in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and the suburbs around it. Everybody had basically the same price list. Some stores upped it a little, okay? But everybody was the same. And 15 years later, it's still pretty much the same. I don't know how the installers haven't gotten those prices up, but they should have. I know I have. And that's what I'm telling you, is you want to build your brand so that you don't have to go by that price list. You can go work for these bigger shops and get more money because you offer more than the other installers. They want you on their jobs. And they will go with what you say you want to get. I've done it at many shops, so you can do this, okay? You just got to build yourself up. Now, like I said, I've seen prices range anywhere from $1 a square foot to $2.50 a square foot on vinyl plank. And I like to be on the higher end, obviously. But it depends on where you live. You might not have a choice but to take that lower wage. Okay, but I'm telling you, well, if you don't like it, then move or go find a shop that's going to pay you what you need to make. And how you vary that, like if you're doing this and bidding this on your own and you have a friend that wants you to do it, or a cousin or whatever, friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, you need to decide what you're worth, okay? If you do at $1 a square foot, is $500 for 500 square feet really enough for you and it took you 2 days? If it takes you 2 days, is that really enough? That's the things that you need to decide. But it's not just about going in and collecting that. What did you put into that job? Time and money for your truck and your tools and this and that, you know? I mean, so I would tell you, if you're only making $1 a square foot on vinyl plank, you need to find another place to work because you can get better. I'm telling you, you can get better than that. So these are just some of the things that you need to take into consideration. And I want to talk to you a little bit about building your brand here, on what you need to do to build your brand so that you can get more money. First of all, guys, I've been in this business for 30 years and I've seen a lot, okay? If you want to become one of the best people out there as far as what people look at as, hey, I want that guy to install for me, you need to make sure that you get to the shop on time. Don't call in, okay? Don't call up because you want the day off and say I spent the night in jail. Because I'm telling you, if you spent the night in jail, I don't want you working for me, right? Come to work sober. No drugs, no alcohol, okay? Wear decent clothes. Don't wear a shirt that says, hey, I beat my wife last night, or something dumb like that. You know what I'm saying? Wear something nice, respectable, okay? If you wear earrings and nose rings and eyebrow rings and whatever else kind of rings, I'd take those out while you're at work. It's just common sense, guys. Take it out at work, okay? Put it back in when you get home. When you walk into somebody's house, be respectful to them. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a fine line when you're dealing with a customer. You need to be respectful to them, but you're also walking into an environment that you're taking over. This is your job. You're taking it over, right? But how do you deal with the customer to let them know that in a nice way? And you just need to go into the job, go over everything with them. If you see something that's broken, point it out to them and say, hey, I just not sure if you knew about that or not, but hey, this wall has a big gouge in it. I just wanted to point that out to you before we start so that you know it wasn't from us. Okay, things like that. Or, you know, I mean, just if you run into floor prep issues or things like that, talk about some of that before you start the job, saying, hey, we're not going to know until we take this out what the floor looks like underneath. Just kind of give them a basic understanding of what you're going to do. If they have dogs, say, hey, you know, I really like dogs, and I hate that that I'm asking you this, but can you put the dogs outside or in a bedroom so that they're not, you know, in where we're working? It's just going to be a lot easier for us. Things like that, okay? If there's furniture in the way that they were supposed to move, don't lose your cool and say, oh, I'm leaving. Talk to them. Say, hey, you know, we didn't figure in to move this furniture. We'll move it for you around, but it's going to cost you a little bit extra for labor and for the time that it's going to cause for us to have to move this furniture around, or it's still being in our way. Just things like that. You just need to be straight with the homeowner right away. Don't hem and haw about things. Be straight with them in a kind way, right? And take the job over then. Now it's yours. It's your work site, right? But you did it in a nice way, and they're going to appreciate you for that. Okay. So another thing, if you're a smoker, don't toss your cigarettes all over their yard. I mean, just don't come in the house and blare your music that they might hate. You know what I'm saying? Just be smart about things. I'm not saying not to listen to music, but just, you don't need to turn it up so that they can't even hear themselves think. Just little things like that, guys, are what are gonna make you a better installer and more appealing to a shop than another guy. Okay, it's just common sense stuff, really. That's what it is. All right, so I kind of gave you a little bit of the basics here on what to expect, the differences, and talked about the money a little bit. I want to go deeper into some of this stuff, but I'm really not sure how much interest there really is out there. So let me know by putting comments below. on things that you want to know about. If you have questions about the things that we just discussed, put them down in the comment section below and I'll answer them for you. And then we'll kind of go from there and see what I should make the next video. There's so much more I'd love to share with you on this to help you through to become an installer, or to help you if you already are an installer to be able to go and get the money that you want, that you deserve, that you've earned, right? Anyway, hey, I'm Joe Latender. God bless you. I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if I've helped you at all. And if you want to be notified of any of my other videos, hit that bell to get notified. Have a great day.